Blame the hair gel.
I couldn't believe.
Blame the hair gel. This is the conversation that we're having right now. And I find it amazing, Trev. Because we witnessed something like this, and you know what's so crazy? It's a conversation that's splitting people.
Should we bring people up to speed about what took place?
Let's go.
The knockdown, what happened? I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she picked grease in my shit, so the shit was like, you know, like when you sweating and things like that, and the grease come in my face, it burnt my eyes type shit. Damn, why y'all booing like I'm saying bullshit? Like, this is real facts. Come on, man. I just got my hair done 2 days ago.
Swing the remix, guys!
I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. And she picked grease in my shit. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. And she picked grease in my shit. I just got my hair done. 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 I just got my hair done.
Sorry, brother.
Bro. But let's talk about it though. Let's talk about
my days.
So again, it was a surprise. I know it was a surprise. I'm not like,
I mean, before we get to round 9, I would say that I was kind of underwhelmed by the performance overall.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like Roach, clearly, if you like, he's an underestimated guy, and as far as the perception,
that was a surprise though. Roach was a surprise.
For people who don't know him, just, I mean, it's one of those ones where it's like, all right, cool, he's an unknown guy, so you're just gonna assume the bigger name is gonna win, but he came to win.
But not only that, let's talk about this man. Listen to how we talk about Gervonta. Face of boxing, according to some, whoever, like his core group. Face of boxing, very sellable, and power. We say all these things, so we can't. What we're not going to do today is do this thing where we pretend as if we wasn't all talking about Gervonta in a glowing light, until this moment, right? So everyone has the expectation of at some point he closes the show and knocks this man out, because this is what we're used to seeing. So now to not get that, but to get something even different, as in he struggled. Now everyone's changed their tune and talking about Shakur in a very different way to how that fight will look now.
It's just the recency bias of boxing, innit? Because last week Shakur was a boring bum and Tank was going to knock him out.
There you go.
This week it's like, oh no, technically we don't know. So it's just one of those things, you can't put too much stock into how quickly people flip and flop. But for me, I think with Tank's style in boxing, there's certain things you just expect at this point. So it's like, he's going to stay on the outside, he's going to get a read, eventually he's going to work his way to setting something up, and then he's going to close it.
Yes.
Without knocking someone out, that perception of the fight looks completely different, because then it's like, whilst skill-wise, he's nothing like this guy that I'm going to mention, but you see how Deontay Wilder's fights would go. It's the same shape. Doesn't matter about how many rounds he loses.
I'm going to win.
At some point, he's going to
equalizer.
Yeah. So with Tank definitely does have skills, but it's one of those things where I look at it, I think to myself, what's actually going on with you? Like, is it a thing where you've checked out in your head from boxing? Because there's that as well.
He hasn't, because all the stuff is there. Even in the build-up, he's doing all the annoying, you know, when he's trying to find the range and stuff. He does these little things to cheekily to offset his opponent, but he's still pretty much locked in when it comes to fight time. But now the lead up is a bit off.
One thing I do have to say though, you see the stuff he says about the grease and the sweat mixing and getting in your eyes. I used to have braids and I used to play basketball. That is a real thing. I'm not even like, not trying to make no excuses for that, but that is it burns. Again, it's uncomfortable.
Talking from this perspective,
you don't really.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, I was angry with this.
However, let's have some pushback even on that, because that don't justify what took place. You see the lady who done his hair.
Oh yeah,
she was in the comments on TikTok, because obviously the Tank fans are getting at her. She came and said, "I did his hair on Wednesday. It's Saturday. He did a press. He went gym and a weigh-in. That's not an excuse. And how much grease did I use? Damn." She's fighting for her life in those comments.
Wait. Hold on. So again, as someone from, I need to talk to people from the hair community. I'm not qualified for this conversation, but I just want to know, if you put the grease and stuff in your hair Wednesday, what's the thing? Doesn't it dry? Like,
brother, that grease, that had to have been new grease, bro. That had to have been new grease. There's no way that same grease is now. It's still going to be present in your hair, innit?
Yeah.
Let's not play. It's going to be there. Your hair's going to sweat. But if you've been working out and doing all this stuff every day since, or stuff's been going on, we don't know what the potency of this grease is now.
because they're talking about black hair products as well. There's another conversation.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a deeper darker.
That's what
We'll
I'm
sort
saying.
it out later.
But the thing is, they don't change the rules to me. It don't change the rules. Like,
Yes.
I've seen boxers take knees in fights. Yeah.
Right.
Floyd,
Yeah.
punched a man, hurt his hand. Oh, taking a knee, take a count. Bro, this.
And go and win.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I thought the conversation between him and the referee was very dodgy.
Brother, it was his brethren.
The referee runs over to him and goes, "Hey, what's going on, man?" And he's like, I know. Hey, what's going on, man? Then he's like, my eye. He goes, man. He goes, you can't just walk out the ring like that because people gonna say it's a knockdown. I'm thinking to myself, you are not his trainer.
It is a knockdown.
Why are you giving him this grace? The count has started.
Yes. And because they called it a draw, then that means, by all means, if they counted the knockdown,
He would have won.
he's won.
Roach would have won that fight. And the maddest thing is, yeah, like I hear it may well have been burning your eyes. It may well have been a thing. But you see, when someone has a cut and blood gets into your eyes,
what they do?
you can't just stop and be like, yo, let me just wipe this off. This is getting.
It was so disrespectful the way he stopped. It's like being in beef and said, "Hey, hold on
One sec. Or being in beef and a man starts kicking you like, raw, no kicks. Remember them nonsense?
Yeah. Hey, let him up. Some people let that. Some people,
letting him
you
up.
got to be in a special place where they say let him up. But
That's
if
a
you
prime
done,
fighting location.
that's a different kind of location.
There's rules.
But you see, when like it's been stated, you can't. He turns around, and then that happens.
I know. And the thing is, it's like, whilst obviously you say he wasn't hurt, he does take a shot right before the moment happens. Yeah. And it's a shot where, to be completely transparent to what I saw in the video, he looks disturbed in his eyes, wipes it, bang, takes a shot.
Mhm.
We don't know how much that shot hurt him.
It don't matter.
He's gone back to take the knee. He looked away, rushed to the corner, wiped my eyes. It's one of them ones where it's like, bro, if Muhammad Ali says, "Hey, my eyes are getting Sonny Liston round 7 or 8 or whenever it is," and he's like, "Hey, I can't see." 1 second, Sonny.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
It don't
bro.
work like this.
Even
bro.
sweat, bro. I remember the first time I sparred,
Have
yeah,
you ever felt
and I
this?
felt sweat
Oh,
burning my eyes. I remember
God.
thinking, how am I supposed to fight like this?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I think it's just because he's the face, and he said they had a conversation. Roach said that in the 12th round, he said, "You're not going to win this."
Yeah, he was saying that to him in the trash talk. They're not going to give it to you.
They're not going to give it to you.
That's a very interesting thing to be saying in the ring to a fighter, yeah. When the reason you don't want to go to Riyadh and fight on Turkey shows is because they're gonna do me on the scorecards.
Yes.
So you're used to a level of comfortability
You're
on your side.
Exactly, because I am the person. It's like the beneficiary. Like a Drake situation. When you're the beneficiary of this, and now you're saying, well, now they're trying to change the machine, and I'm not the beneficiary anymore. I don't like this. I'm taking my ball and getting home.
Absolutely.
This is what this has become. But I just think it's embarrassing, really, because he's embarrassed himself, but because he's cool enough, he's getting away with this. He will get away with this, by the way.
He's definitely he
said he's not fighting him. He said, I'm not fighting him next.
But he has been tweeting since.
What's he said?
It looks like he's gonna try and push for the fight. He goes, he tweeted something to Roach, because obviously Roach is not having any of it. He's
do you trust this
down.
man? Wait, when he says he tweeted something, he said in a press conference, it's not my next fight.
I know.
That's probably the most truthful
he's
being with us. In the last things he said after a while.
I don't put stock into anything.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what he said.
Let's see what he says.
He goes, your bitch ass is just happy you didn't get knocked out. Your dad was jumping up and down in the corner when you made it to the 12th round. F out of here and say no more. I'm pushing for the rematch. It's one of the ones where
he's chatting shit.
Yeah,
he's chatting shit.
They're not throwing it back in.
They're not going back there. Why? Because again, it's he knows what that was. Yeah. And they sparred. They spend a lot of time together.
Who's that? Him and Roach?
Yeah. Do they know each other?
I'm
Like,
sure.
what's their?
I'm not sure.
Apparently, they know each other.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So they're not going to see each other.
They're not going to see each other again. But it's a frustrating state of boxing. But if you look at it on a promoter level, yeah, PBC are not going to try and roll the dice with Tank. They're losing pieces, bro. Errol Spence, Wilder, like it's looking very thin over there. If you think they're going to rush to have him in a super competitive fight,
then what fight is he going to do?
brother? Listen, he don't want to fight on Turkey shows. and there's a comfortability he's used to over there, and it's weird because now we're starting to see a thing where, and I hate to say it, but when PBC fighters step outside of that arena,
it gets nuts.
It looks janky, bro.
We need to talk about it though. It's something that needs to be addressed because this can't continue. We keep seeing this. Like Wilder was the one. Wilder was these fighters that are not tested and we're going by these bloated records. And you understand the reason why they're bloated records, because whenever you test yourself, how good are you? And unfortunately, because in boxing we are, what have you done for me lately? We can get, and I'm not blaming the boxing fans because we do it as well. We're boxing fans, by the way. But I'm saying that we get into this thing where I did it with Hamza. Just recently, I was thinking, well, look at him, he looks great, and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Saw what he couldn't deal with, and I was like, he went up a level and got exposed. Are you with me? So now it's like, well, we can't until we see these fighters in the ring with live opponents. I don't want to hear anything. We said the same. We've been talking, me and you been waxing lyrical about Craig and Yard for the longest time. Callum. Why is he doing that? He's doing that. That's what he does. You know what I mean? Until they go against someone that can match them for eliteness, and they got as strong as chin. Lennox was the first one to point out to us, you know, when he tried to tell us about Deontay early, he goes, who's he for? Oh, man. And he said that and looked direct at us.
Straight.
He goes, he said he's the most dangerous puncher in the most dangerous puncher.
Who's he beating?
Who's he beating?
Silence.
What chin?
Silence.
And we just looked back at him.
I remember saying to him, I remember saying to him, I goes, how would you beat him? He goes, I would destroy him in the stomach. You looking at it, you think, yeah, you would have cooked this brother still. Now, knowing what we know now, he wouldn't have lasted.
So we need to stop doing bloated records.
Well, the fact is, well, let's look at what like Riyadh has put a lot of man under the light.
Oh man,
he's put a lot of man under the light. Obviously, the Adamez and Shiraz thing is one of the ones where the mark is against the thing.
Yeah,
but it's put a lot of men under the light. They're in there now for real.
Yeah,
you ain't got the opportunity to just go, oh, light touch. It's like, nah, bro, real touch. Real touch. If you want to progress, it's this way. That's the way. You want to go anywhere else?
Yeah.
Do that somewhere else.
Somewhere else. Not here, not in this market. And that's changed the game, because even now, Ben Witt, I'm really excited, and I like
that Cameron rematch.
I like you know what? I'm so excited about this fight. But then the back and forth that they're having, it's exciting. But then Cameron asked questions of Ben. Yeah. And I don't think without Riyadh, well, that might not have
got that question.
We would have just continued flowing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The good thing about fights like these, you look at, say, Floyd's career, when it's like Castillo, the first one, that people always go back to, he might have lost that one. Floyd goes back in the rematch, removes all doubt. Maidana, the first one, goes back in there, removes all doubt. Those are the moments that separate man who are serious and on their way up. If man, because sometimes you meet a guy and it lets the world know that this is your level.
Yeah.
But when you go back and say, okay, cool, had a little bit of a weird night, but now I'm going to show you I am above this guy.
Don't get twisted. There's another man, because I'm not going to leave people out. The Romford Bull, Dave Allen.
Wait, what?
The Romford Bull. Remember, he fought Dave Allen and he got, like, not saying he got exposed.
Oh, he definitely lost that fight.
Well, no, something happened, didn't it?
He that night. I hear what you're saying, but I just didn't. You know what? See, that night was a funny one, because we were having the conversation that Moses Otomo gets all the credit about having the potential and
yeah,
but people leave out Romford Bull. That night he showed us why we don't talk about
it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But then,
so for me, I wasn't like, oh, this is crazy. I'm like, no, Dave Allen is manhandling you.
He got to him,
and he will again. When if I again, mark my word, he wins again.
But this is the difference. Don't think I haven't noticed. We're not talking about it. Don't think I haven't noticed.
Yeah, but them men are not. They're not.
Still need to run it back, because Dave Allen.
Dave
Allen deserves something. There's no justice that night.
But there's an absolute difference in name class. Like, let's be real. We're talking about Tank Davis here, bro.
Yeah.
Who brings up Romford Bull?
No, I'm talking about
out
people
of nowhere.
I'm talking about Riyadh and how you're talking about exposure, in Riyadh. That's where the trailer thought went. It's like people go to Riyadh and funny things happen. But the one good thing about Riyadh is they make them fight again.
They'll be running it back.
They'll say, well, we're going to see you two mix it up because we need the answer to this.
Yeah, facts.
Whereas in the situation that Gervonta finds himself in, there's no one forcing him to say, hey, you want to be out here again, run it back. And that's for me, that's a bit of a problem.
I just would like to know where his head is at, because we've seen a lot of weird talk up in the lead up to the fight. Then it looks a bit weird on fight night. And it's one of the ones you go, have you checked out? Like, It's
I'm not having
possible.
a checkout talk.
I hear you, but anybody mentioning retiring at this age, I'm like, because Jared Anderson is under the light for how his performance goes. He went in there with Bacoli after making those statements about I'm only 23, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm young.
But he had a hearty performance against Bacoli that makes you say, okay, cool, maybe he's just maturing, he's going to be okay. But Tank is talking about retiring, and then he looks a bit weird. Then we like, okay, if the next one don't look like old Tank, then we might have to accept that we've seen that might be you on the way out. Who knows, man?
Let's leave it. Listen, we're gonna go into some stuff